everybody, welcome back. Some interesting things have happened. As most of you guys know, I was heading hunting. That was my next big adventure that we had talked about on the Hangout. So today's Saturday, and we were planning on leaving today, and oh boy, there's a winter storm watch in effect, and so we got everything ready last night, and we figured we'll see what the weather's like, and we'll go from there as to whether we're going to leave or not. So we wake up this morning at like 8 o'clock, and we check the weather, and it says that, you know, snow's come in and whatnot, and yeah, so we go test the driving in the city, and it's not bad. And then we come home and we go online and we check the highway conditions reports, and they're not that bad. There's one slippery section, and so we decided, you know what, it's winter, it's Manitoba, come on, we'll suck it up. If it, you know, we have to drive 50 on the highway the entire way here, we have to drive 50 on the highway the entire way here. So we ended up driving like anywhere between 50 and 100. We averaged around 70 the whole way, and so we get to the town before we turn in to go to the farm property that we stay at, and everything's fine. And so we call our parents and we let them know all is good. We're just gonna leave the highway, and yeah, so and we're gonna, you know, get bad reception from here on in, so we're letting you know now. And so whatever, we get gas and we go to leave, and there's a ka-thunk. Ka-thunk. This is new. So we check it out, we're like, okay. So we go back to the service station and we check our fluids. Oh, we're low on transmission fluid. Okay, so we pay an arm and a leg and we get some transmission fluid and we fill it up. And still ka-thunk, ka-thunk. And we figure, okay, maybe it's got to cycle through. And yeah, so and then we get back on the highway and we turn off the main road, and we don't even get a kilometer and it all stops. And so the vehicle won't move. We can't get it to drive. It's running, but it won't drive. Okay, so we call CAA, which for the US is the equivalent of AAA. And so they get all our information, come and get us, and great. Okay, so we're not too far from town, so they tow us to town on a flatbed, and then we go to unload it at the service station, and a hydraulic hose goes. So anyways, we can't unload the vehicle from the flatbed, so we go into town and we're like, okay, rent a vehicle, stay the night, who knows. So we talked to the guy who was renting, or who runs the service station, and he said there's not much of a cost difference. And so we decided, you know what, we'll stay in town. So now we're at this beautiful little bed and breakfast, which there is actually a geocache right outside. Yeah, it's right outside. And yeah, and so we get to the bed and breakfast, and we have the wrong key for the room. So we just went and got another key, and so we'll see if we have a nice place to stay. Well, so last night we were lucky enough that we, like I said, got to that bed and breakfast. We made a whole bunch of phone calls, and we found out that his cousin, my husband's cousin and uncle, were coming out Saturday. That's Saturday? No, it's Sunday now. Oh, okay, Sunday. So they're coming out Sunday. So luckily they picked us up from town, the little town, not too far from where we hunt. Now we got him. I got dropped off at the hunting cabin. Welcome, welcome. No indoor plumbing. And yeah, that is, yeah, right there. I was dropped off at the cabin to start a fire, so to warm it up. My husband went to go drop everybody off, and we're borrowing the truck, thank goodness, to go get the rest of our stuff from our vehicle, which is currently stranded on a flatbed. It's still there. They have no plans to get it off right now that I know of. Anyways, so here's my lovely fire. It's burnt down some now, but oh, the heat. I can still do it. I still got it. Anyways, so right now I am just waiting for my husband to come back. Oh, and there he is. So we're going to go and get the rest of our stuff. Yay. In the meantime, as far as I know, we have use of the quads, but they're at the farmer's right now. And yeah, other than that, we have no use of a vehicle. And we won't know anything about ours until tomorrow, Monday. So anyways, I'll check back in with you guys, and we'll see how things are developing.
Sorry, I actually ended up speaking a little too quietly. You can't hear a word that I am saying. I'm hunting, so of course I had to speak quietly, otherwise the animals would hear me. I thought maybe I might have the camera close enough and you might be able to hear me, but you can't. So, I'm not entirely sure what I was saying, but we'll make do with what I remember, and we'll try and give you a play-by-play. So this is where I usually like to hunt. So you get a panorama, or you got a panorama of the area. The deer tend to cross right in front of me. In previous years, I've had lots of little deer pass here. Nothing too big. Yeah, so there was tons of tracks. My husband is way down the fence line. You can't see him on the camera. He's a little orange blob in my scope if I were to look at him. But yeah, so he's way down the other end, up on the hill. And yeah. So to get into where I'm hunting here, it's a 1/4 mile hike, and it was waist deep snow, so I only ended up hunting here twice. And actually I ended up hunting where my husband was here for most of the rest of the time. On this particular morning, I had a big buck, and he must have been waiting in the little bluff of trees to what would be my right there. There's the fence going straight up, and there's a little bluff of trees really close, and I didn't hear him come up, but I heard him once he was in the bush, and so he was right there, and I didn't end up getting him. And then also there was a doe and her 2 fawns that came out on the left side of me as well. And I didn't get hurt. First morning of hunting, I'm more there to see where they're moving, what's moving, and whatnot. But anyways, so I heard some shots, and I ended up hiking down that fence line to my husband, and it was waist deep, knee deep to chest deep the entire way. Took a lot of energy, but I made it down to him, and he wasn't there. He was off in the bush to, well, my left. Later on, you'll see some hay bales and whatnot during the sunset, and he was down in that area, and I saw to my right a buck with his nose to the ground, and he was chasing two does, and I had never seen that before. Normally the deer are in rut when we're out there, but like I said, I've never actually seen that before, so that was really, really cool. After this hunt, after I had hiked all the way up the fence line to my husband, I'm not sure if I said, but his uncle had dropped us off, and he was having tire problems, so he never actually ended up picking us up. So after I hiked the 1/4 mile in, and I hiked pretty sure about 1/4 mile across to my husband, and then we hiked a half mile? I think it was a half mile. No, I hiked a half mile in, a 1/4 mile across, and then a half mile out. And then after that we hiked about 3 miles home. So luckily it was the road, so it was just broken up snow, so it wasn't waist deep or anything. But it was a long, long, long way home, and so we were very lucky that later this day, later on the Monday, one of the friends of the family ended up going and picking the quads up from the farmer, so we didn't have the hiking home issue. So we had vehicles to work from, so that was kind of nice. We took the quads to the hunting spots every morning, and it made it a lot easier.
Alright, so I'm sorry. You're gonna have to miss that gorgeous sunset that's coming, but I just got my gear. Alright, so we got our vehicle back, and I'm gonna see if I can go find this cache, but something's telling me that I'm not gonna be very successful. That's what I'm dealing with. So after a bit of searching, through the snow. I could find it. I don't think it's very winter friendly, but maybe another year.